Stopped short of denouncing Russia's invasion, and President Xi Jinping has offered for China to play mediator for the warring countries. But the head of the European Parliament's delegation for relations with China says China's tactics fool no one. He says the way Beijing handles this war will impact future relations between the EU and China. Jamie Metzl is a senior fellow at the Atlantic Council who has served with the US National Security Council and State Department and was Deputy Staff Director of the US Senate Committee on Foreign Relations when Joe Biden was chairman. He joins me now from New York. Great to have you with us again.
Great to be here.
So Michael Schumann writes in The Atlantic that two separate events, Russia's war on Ukraine and a series of COVID-related shutdowns in China, are working together to accelerate a shift that's transforming global politics and creating a new world order. And he says both are accelerating a shift that is taking the world in a dangerous direction, splitting it into two spheres, one centred on Washington, D.C., the other on Beijing. So, Jamie, do you agree with Schumann's assessment of this shift toward two separate worlds?
I do, but I don't think it's just happening now. This has been happening for some time. Certainly for China, they have been pulling back from their engagements with the rest of the world. The United States, in the earliest days of the pandemic, saw that our reliance on China was extremely dangerous because we couldn't get basic medical equipment and we didn't trust our relationship with China. Now, Russia's brutal invasion of Ukraine has divided Europe in a way that we haven't seen since the darkest days of the Cold War. And we're seeing that Russia is getting weaker and weaker, and Russia will eventually become a weak vassal of China. And we are going to see these two larger spheres, a Sino-centric sphere and an America-centric sphere. And it looks like Europe, Australia, Japan, and others will be part of the US-centric world. And China, Russia, North Korea, and a few others will be part of the China-centric world. And like in the days of the Cold War, everybody's going to have to figure out what's their right relationship with one of these magnetic poles. And it's certainly sad because I know there were many of us who had big visions of what our globalized world could look like. And we still have problems like climate change that we can only solve together. But we are pulling back from the heights of globalization. Our world, I think, is getting much more complicated.
So where do you see this shift going in the end? Do you fear conflict may result as this split accelerates, or will we just see two separate, distinct worlds, each using different technology and following different political, social and economic systems, having very little to do with each other?
Well, it's both. We're already seeing more conflict now. That's what this Ukraine crisis is that Russia is challenging essentially the post-war order in Europe. And there's a parallel between what Russia is doing in Ukraine and what China is threatening to do in Taiwan. And so as the ties that bind the West and East and Europe and Russia and others together begin to weaken, there are greater opportunities for misunderstanding. And we are seeing greater conflict now. There's a very, very real and perhaps growing possibility that we'll have conflict.
And Jamie, as China continues to become more self-sufficient, reducing its vulnerabilities and reliance on the US and its allies, does America need to be doing more of the same, disconnecting from China, becoming less reliant on its cheap labour and goods? As you mentioned, I mean, during COVID, at the height of it, they did draw back. But does America need to do that more so now?
Absolutely, yes, and it's already happening. And that's when we talk about decoupling, that's what it means. The United States and Europe are highly reliant on resources from China and things like rare earth metals from China and resources from Russia. And what we're seeing is that our supply chains can't just be decoupled from our consideration of international affairs, of human rights, of stability and world order. And while we love to imagine that we can have one global supply chain connecting us all, countries like the United States, Europe, can't be overly reliant on countries like China and Russia. And as the Chinese look at what's happening in Russia and the leverage that the international community has over Putin, you can be sure that they are looking at their supply chains and their investments and asking how they can be more self-sufficient. So I certainly think that we have passed the high watermark of globalization. That doesn't mean that globalization is over, but it's going to look very different going forward than it has in recent years.
Interesting. Jamie Metzl, always a pleasure to get your analysis. Many thanks.
Thank you.